As government agencies and lawmakers in Washington work to respond to this crash and investigate the cause, some former officials reflected on the last commercial airline crash in the U.S., Flight 3407.
It's not an easy thing to go through.
Scott Bilefsky was the Clarence Center supervisor when, on February 12, 2009, Colgan Air Flight 3407 crashed into a home on Long Street in Clarence Center. The one thing he remembers the most from the tragedy is
the way that the families conducted themselves and trying to make sure that it didn't happen again.
And while that crash and the subsequent fight by the families of the 50 victims for stricter pilot safety guidelines is not necessarily the national story today, it can't be ignored that the impact of 3407 led to nearly 16 years without a major commercial airline crash in the United States.
It really is a testament to the work that the families did, getting the legislation passed through Congress, as well as the follow-up work, the follow-up fights that they've had to do when they've, the chief thing had been, one, transparency as to who the carrier would be for the airlines.
While there's still so much that we don't know about the collision of the American Airlines flight and the Black Hawk helicopter, one aspect of the crash is the same as 3407. Both were operated by regional airlines, flying on behalf of major airlines. After 3407, the amount of flight training required for regional pilots was increased from 750 hours to 1,500.
And there were numerous attempts to reduce those hours in the past that the families stood up. They didn't have to.
As recently as 2023, when Republican South Dakota Senator John Thune and the independent senator from Arizona, Kristen Sinema, proposed bills to reduce regional pilot training by 250 hours. That bill was defeated, mainly due to the efforts of Western New York Congressman Nick Langworthy and Brian Higgins.
I will say again, in deference to the families of the victims of Flight 3407, they undertook a decades-long effort and really fundamentally changed the trajectory of commercial flight safety in America.
As I sat with the former supervisor, one thing he said is vastly different between the two crashes is the rhetoric at the national level. In the immediate aftermath of 3407, the national conversation,
it was basically to show compassion to the families. I think that's getting lost right now with the finger pointing, when you have certain officials acting in a very disgusting manner.
Now, it took nearly a full year for the NTSB report to conclude that the crash of Flight 3007 was caused by pilot error. On your side, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.